Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. You may notice there's no board next to me. I got bored of using it.
Oh my goodness.
We don't need it today. Today's an awesome day. The sun is shining. It's meant to get up to like 15 degrees. We might get a little bit of rain. That's okay. But today is the day we're going to check in on our seeds. And we're going to talk about tomatoes. Still too early to plant. Tonight, I believe I saw that the temperature is going down to 1 or -1.
Ew.
Somewhere in that region. No, that's very apt, Brandy. You is correct. So I don't want to put my tomatoes out in that. However, as you can see, they're getting rather large for the containers. So I need to upgrade. So I'm going to upgrade, and this time we're using peat pots. A lot of times I've done plastic, and that's because I upcycle. But I thought we'd do some peat moss coir pots. They're essentially the same, and show us what to do. So could I have pushed these? Let's start there. Could I have said, you know what? I'm not going to transplant. I think they're going to be okay like that. Yeah, I probably could have. Looking at the fact that at the latest, I want them in the ground beginning of June, which means I'll still have a frost blanket or a cover to put over them if necessary. But if we just lift this up and we're nice and gentle, I don't even have roots coming out the bottom. Now, I think we're going to see a mass of roots when I lift these plugs out. It's going to be interesting. But something else I wanted to show everybody. So if you remember, we seeded all of these, and they didn't all take, and these are being grown. When did we do, Brandy? Like February 22nd?
Yeah.
Look at this. After all that time, one of them has decided now is the time to germinate. The rest of them are already this big. So I might leave that in that cell. I might just kill it. Whatever. I really haven't given it much thought. But it's amazing. Exact same conditions. Same watering, it's been under the same lights, it's been in the exact same cell as all of these. And if you notice the height difference here, I tested a new product on these ones. It's a Compost Tea. Basically, it's compost. You put it in a cloth bag, you put it in your watering can, you let it sit, you water. I will be recommending this to literally everybody I speak to. It is incredible. So anyway, what we're going to look at now is what we can do with our tomatoes. We're going to take them out. We're going to have a look at the root system, and then we're upgrading them. I'm not going to go into a bigger one. As we've talked about, we don't want to shock it. So I laid all these pots out gently, and I'm like, I don't need them all now, so I'll just put them right back over to here. So my pot is empty. As you can see, I'm not going to pre-fill it with soil, but I am going to start. And we're just going to put a little bit, and all this is here now is a potting mix. It's not my seed starting mix. It's a potting mix. I want something that's porous, but can hold a bit more moisture than the seed starter. And all I'm doing here is we're just tamping the bottom down. And that's so that my roots aren't going to sit bare on that. Now we look at that. We can see that this is much deeper than I need, but that's one of the fun things we can do with tomatoes. So now the challenge. I have all of these cells, they're all together, and I need to get my tomato out without damaging the other ones. If you're not comfortable, okay, doing what I'm about to do, take your scissors and cut the cells out independently. You can absolutely do that, and X-Acto works as well. I'm going to do it my old school way, because that's what I do, and I'm going to, as you can see here, I'm loosening my cell, and you can almost see the soil rising up now. Now I see it happen every year. People grab it and they lift it straight out. You'll notice I've never done that. And the reason for that, the reason I always tip is I want it to fall into my hand. If I grab it and pull it, what I can do, now I've got the root out, I'll support it by the root. But if I grab it and lift it, I can break this part here where the crown and the roots meet. And then I'm in trouble. Okay, so I lifted it out. And like I said, yeah, a nice solid root system, a lot of good growth happening on this. So now I'm going to measure it up. I'm going to see where I sit here. And I go, yeah, I like that. And I just take my scissors and I'm just snipping off my bottom leaves. Now, I might have to come a bit closer to the camera for this one. Brandy will tell me if we can see it. Can you see these little white hairs all over the stem? Okay, those are trichomes. It's a defense mechanism of the tomato. They're filled with oil. They make it harder for bugs to get up. I wish I could tell you that they're bug resistant. Then anybody who's had aphids or mites know that the trichomes don't really do much. But it is a defense. However, they're also going to help us with rooting. So don't do this with any other veggie. But I'm planting this tomato deep. I'm putting it right in the middle so the roots have room to grow. And now I'm going to backfill. And all I'm doing is just gently going around. And as you can see, just one finger. All I'm doing is tapping that soil down. I'm not firming it. I'm not making it compact. And the reason for that, is that going to stand up on its own? Nope, a little top heavy. Put it there. The reason for that is we have our root ball. And that very delicate, those are still delicate roots. Again, they've been growing in a seed blend. So very, very similar to this. You wouldn't be able to tell the two apart. But they've been growing in a seed blend. They've had no resistance, so nothing has ever challenged their growth. They've been in an enclosed environment. They've been in my office the whole time. They've been under a grow light. They were on a heat mat. And some of them have even had compost. These haven't had anything, nothing added yet. And that's, you can see the difference between them. That's why we like to add organic materials and whatnot. So I don't want to take my soil now and start firming it in and making it super compact. Those roots won't be ready for that. So we'll lift it out again. So all I'm doing is I'm just gently taking a handful. You can use a scoop if you want. If you don't want to get your hands dirty, wear gloves. Everything is fine. Anybody who's followed knows that I don't mind making a mess. Hey, you know what I just realized, Brandy?
What?
We're not in crops. I can't just like make a mad mess anymore. I have to be somewhat cleaner.
Now we have to clean ourselves.
Oh, I don't like this. Not one.
Nope.
Okay, we're going back to crops tomorrow. So all I'm doing here is, again, I'm just gently doing it, but I'm not going to fill it all the way up. I am still going to leave a gap, and all I'm doing is making sure my soil is firm. I don't want air pockets. I don't want any surprises later on. And what I may do is that if this tomato doesn't stand up, I might just put a stake in the pot with it. Okay, and one more handful here. And there we go. Now, another reason it might not be standing up is, like I said, it is thirsty. They needed watering this morning, but I knew we were doing this and I didn't want to make a mess. So you can see I came down about a ½ inch from the top of the pot. Okay, and that's all fresh soil. The leaves that I pulled off, garbage, we don't need them anymore. And now you can see I'm not doing direct pressure on the root ball. I used my finger to go around it, but now I'm on the root ball. I'm putting my fingers flat, so I'm not crushing it. And all I'm doing now is making sure everything is firmed in together. And hey presto, so that's the first one planted. Now that's what we call planting it deep, okay? So now, let's do one at surface. Okay, so what that'll do, let's quickly touch on that. What that'll do is I have shocked that plant terribly. Okay, I pulled those leaves off, which it doesn't like. And then I planted it deep, which it's like, okay, what the heck is going on here? It is going to be stunted, maybe for a week, maybe for 2 weeks. And what will end up happening is it's going to be confused. It's going to be shocked. I'm going to keep up on the water. Now that I've done my first transplant, I am going to start fertilizing. The fertilizer will get into it and it'll go, oh, this is great. And it'll start putting out roots. But it will put out roots all the way on that stem. So what will happen now is I'll get a much more advanced root system that'll be able to support the top for the photosynthesis. Those roots will instantly be pulling up more nutrition and moisture to the leaves. So it will be slowed down, but when it starts to grow, it will be a much, much stronger and established plant. But let's say we don't want to slow our plant down. Okay, we don't want that. We don't have the time, or we want to eat our tomatoes right away. So I'm putting in my soil again, firming it, but not compressing it. You can see now I'm tucking it down like that, but that's still very loose. Okay, let's take out this guy because he's on the edge, so he's nice and easy. So again, I'm just squeezing my cell very gently, and you can see the plug is lifting, supporting all of my plants so I don't lose anything, supporting the crown. I just flip it. Come on. Come on. There we go. Just like that. So now I want this soil here to be my new depth. I'm not planting deep. Okay, so I'm going to put that in and measure. That's actually pretty good. Doesn't always happen. I'm not taking any credit for that. That was just done by eye. And again, exact same principle. So I'm going around my root ball, but this time I'm making sure to clean the top off. I'm not burying it. I'm using my finger and I'm firming down. And if you remember when we talked about transplanting, we went one size up. We went from a 2-inch cell to a 4-inch pot. We didn't go to a 6-inch. We didn't go to an 8-inch. Now, tomatoes are better suited for that. If you do go up, you can go up bigger. Another reason I'm doing this is I have limited space in my office. So a lot of times your tomatoes aren't houseplants. Those roots are going to explode and they're going to go fast. So what you might need to do is maybe you're like, oh, well, I'm going to grow it in a 10-gallon pot. I'm planting it in the 10-gallon. You can, but if that's not going outside, you're now taking up a lot of floor space. And I wish I had the room. I wish my office was like combination office greenhouse. Unfortunately, it is not. So I need to limit my, my space. Again, pushing down on the root ball, but I'm not compacting it. I'm making sure it's firm. Going around, tucking everything in. Now to us, I just want to be gentle here. Oh, come on. There we go. They look identical. The depth of them, where they are, and yeah, they are a little top heavy. They are falling. The root system will take care of that. We're going to stake them and we're going to put a cage on them. But you can see I left a 1/2 inch of depth on either one. No difference whatsoever, except we know one of them got planted deeper. So at the end, you want them to look the same. In the overall scheme of planting, there's no difference in what I'm doing and how my finished product is. I am not compacting my soil. I am not making that soil tight. I am not pushing directly on my root ball. I can go to that root ball as many times as I want and gently secure it. And if you'll know, I've done it before, absolutely. And what can happen is we go to plant and we're doing this, and then we go chunk on the root ball, and you hear a sickening crunch, okay? And you get that. And basically what that means is you've damaged roots. May not kill the plant, depending on the health, the size, the maturity, all of those factors, but you have definitely injured it. Now, what I have seen happen is people doing that, and when they're pushing down, they push right onto the crown. And if that snaps, if you see, so these are falling, right? They're lagging. If I don't get a stake on these and get them propped up properly, what will happen is that stem there is going to end up getting a kink in it, like a kinked hose, or it's going to end up just cleanly snapping. Either of those isn't a problem. You ever had a kinked hose? You're watering, you turn around, and suddenly your water goes from a jet to a dribble. Same principle. So if we think about it, if we think about the photosynthesis, those roots, they're expanding in there, and they're literally pulling all of that water up to get to the leaves so they can pull all of the sugar down. Well, suddenly we now have a kink. So if you think of a hose, how much water comes out, how many liters per second, kink it, you drop it by, you know, 1/10 easily, or 9/10, I should say, easily. Same principle. So suddenly you have this kink. Now nothing is flowing properly, and you're really going to damage the plant. The vast majority of time, the plant is not coming back. It is going to be hurt. So it's better to just take your time. You have it like this, okay? It's something small like this. Great thing you can use. Go to the corner, because you know there's no root system. You won't hurt it. Sink it all the way to the bottom and use a chopstick, okay? Fantastic use for it. A little bit of twine, tie it so that it stays up. Then when you get it outside, you're going to put it in a cage, maybe a bamboo stake, whatever you need. You're going to support it as it grows. And that's it. That's all we're doing with our seeds. Then I'll put them in a tray. Last thing I will do, I'll put them in a tray. I'm not going to do this now because we are going to move all of these. Brandy will get a video though and put it in our stories. And now, no more. I can't remember what noise I make for spray bottle.
There you go.
That's my noise. Oh yeah, this guy is thirsty. Don't worry, you'll get watered soon. If you remember when they were seeds, we used a spray bottle. I told somebody that, they were like, nah, that takes too long. They used a watering can, none of the seeds germinated. They were very disappointed. They started again, used a spray bottle, and they probably got 95% germination. So now we can use this. We have a stronger root system, and we're ready to rock and roll. So keep an eye out on our stories. Brandy will do this, and then here's the bonus. We're going to give these away.
Yay!
Okay, they're indigo black tomatoes. We'll give you all the information. I have no idea how we're giving them away yet. Still lots of time, and I'll be taking care of them until then. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy the sunshine. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.